Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Now, we are back to winning ways, obviously against Sevilla this past midweek, but we are not yet back to winning ways in the Premier League. That is what we need to do this weekend, a game against Burnley, and that is what you're going to be previewing today, and also taking a look at what lineup I would go for. The lineup is going to be very interesting because players like Saka and Odegaard all have dogs, so would I start them? Just to give you a spoiler, just because there's an international break coming up, I wouldn't even risk any of them, just to make sure that both of them don't really go for the international break. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not a Norway fan. I'm not a Brazilian fan. I'm not an English fan. I support Arsenal first. So I need those players to rest for these 2 weeks because heading into the rest of November and especially December, there's a lot of big games coming up, a lot of a congested schedule. So we need to keep our players fit and most of the players need to recover. So it's Burnley this weekend, a team that is second from bottom. A couple of weeks ago, we played against Sheffield at home. And it was a case of not whether we're going to win or not. It's a case of we have to win this, and you have to win it by 3 or 4 goals. We ended up getting 5 goals. That was my prediction then. And I think this particular game has to be similar. Sheffield have conceded 30 goals. Burnley have conceded 27 so far. This is a fixture we have to win. If you take a look at their results this season, out of the 11 games, they've only won 1 match. And the 1 match they've won was against Luton. I think even that one needed a late goal. Burnley. Every game they've played against the top 6 teams, if you can call them top 6 teams, let's call them traditional top 6 teams. Chelsea scored 4 against Burnley. Even Man United went to Burnley and won. Man City scored 3 goals against Burnley. Newcastle comfortably beat Burnley as well, 2-0. Recently, they've lost 3-0 to Brentford in the Premier League. They've lost 3-0 to Everton in the Carabao Cup. They've been conceding a bunch of goals, as I said, just 3 less than Sheffield United. So this is a case of not how if you're going to win or not. No, it's a case of we need to get the goals once again in this match. Against Sheffield, we closed the goal difference to Tottenham and to Man City, but Man City recently scored 6 goals against Bournemouth, so we need to do the same here against Burnley. Not necessarily 6 or 7 goals, but if you can get a 4+ win, it would be absolutely amazing because Burnley are conceding goals. It's not the Burnley we used to know from back in the day where they would play defensive football, and if you get a 1-0 victory, you're happy. No, this is a Burnley that will open up and you'll get opportunities. Despite us having like 6 to 7 injuries, 3-4 players who would be starting like Odegaard and Jesus, this is still a game that we should be winning comfortably. Games like this don't come often. We've been saying we haven't played Sheffield, Luton, Burnley. Now we've played Sheffield, got a 5-0 win. We are now playing Burnley. We need to make it comfortable. Even against Sheffield, it wasn't as comfortable as I wanted it to be. It was 1-0 at halftime. This one, get at least a 2-goal lead. We don't have the bench won't be too strong for this particular game, so the starting lineup has to get the job done. You win this game if results go your way. If Man City lose to Chelsea, I'll be giving you my predictions at the end as well. If Man City lose to Chelsea and Tottenham don't beat Wolves and we score 4+ goals and close the goal difference on Liverpool, we are on the same goal difference with Liverpool. There's a way we could be top going to the international break, and that would be fantastic. I don't expect it because I expect most of those teams to win their games anyway, but let's be in the top 3. Let's get the goal difference up. Even if Liverpool win and we win by more goals, we are going to be ahead of them. So let's keep going. December is not going to be easy. We need to get the job done this November in terms of the Champions League. So heading into December, we focus on the Premier League games that will be there against the likes of Luton, Aston Villa, Liverpool. It's going to be a busy period, and these are the games that you have to get the goals in. Games like this don't come often. You're not going to go to Aston Villa and beat them 6-0. You're not going to go to Man City and score 3+ goals. You're not going to play against even Crystal Palace away from home and get more than 2 goals. These are the fixtures, especially at home. You need to win big. They've been conceding a bunch of goals this season, and we need to make it capitalize. We need to capitalize on that. Against Sevilla was a comfortable game, very, very comfortable game. We only managed to score 2 goals, but they only took 1 shot the whole game. Sevilla, and the shot came in the 96th minute, so that was a very comfortable game. I don't think we used too much energy, so that is a good thing. And this time, I'm really happy to see the international break coming up. I think we need to win this game, and then just give the players like Odegaard and Jesus time to recover for the 2 weeks, and then coming back later on in November, we are fresh to go for the busy period. Injuries, obviously we have a lot of injuries, but you need to find a way. The players who are starting this game are good enough. Obviously, last week we lost to Newcastle, so we have to bounce back. We don't want to make it 2 games in a row in the Premier League without winning. I don't think we've done that this season. Last season, we won 5 games in a row, I think 3 times. At the beginning of the season, we won 5 games. Just before the World Cup, we won 5 games as well. I think we beat Wolves, Chelsea around that period. I think after drawing at Southampton. And I think in January, February of earlier this year, we also won like 7 games in a row before losing to Everton. This season, we've not managed to win. I think the most is like 3 games in a row. I don't think we've come anywhere close to winning 5 games in a row. But let's start with the one game this time against Burnley. Next time you have Brentford. You're going to play teams like Luton. Let's get a streak going. Our next big game in terms of facing a top 6 team will be Liverpool, like just before Christmas. So that is a long period. Let's try and get these wins, and let's try beat Burnley and close the goal difference of on Man City. They are now 6 goals ahead of us. So which lineup will do the job in this one? Obviously, don't underestimate Burnley. You need to go and get the win. These days they play football. Their manager is company. They will play football. They will get a couple of chances, but we should be getting the win in this one. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we do in this particular match in terms of the lineup. Now, as I said, we don't have too many players at all for this particular fixture. We have too many injuries. So in terms of I'm just going to do the goalkeeper and the back four together. I think Raya will start. I'm going to go with Raya. So this is the back five that I would start with. I would go with David Raya in goal. The centre-back partnership will stay the same. Gabriel and Saliba. Ben White stays at right back, but I'll bring in Zinchenko for this game. Tomiyasu, great against Sevilla. I actually agreed with that substitution. We were dominating possession. They were not really attacking us. Away from home against Sevilla, we definitely needed Tomiyasu. But yesterday, as soon as Arteta noticed we didn't really need Tomiyasu for that game, we needed someone who's going to bomb forward. We brought in Zinchenko, and I think this particular game will be similar. We'll need to create from every single angle, right side, left side, and all that. And especially if we don't have Odegaard and Saka on the pitch, we are going to have to find alternatives, and Zinchenko is one of those in terms of creating from the left side. So that would be my back four. Gabriel and Saliba stay as well. Ben White as well at right back. Ben White obviously gets another 2 weeks rest because he's not been picked by England. But Gabriel and Saliba will be playing for their countries during the international break. Would give in this game as well. During the busy period in December, there could be a bit of rotation. Maybe we could start Ben White at centre back with Gabriel for one game, and then maybe Kivy and Saliba for another game, and then for the rest of them, you play Gabriel and Saliba. That would be my back four. In terms of midfield, I would go with Declan Rice as the holding midfielder. He'll also go forward. I mean, against Sheffield United, he still got an assist playing in that position because I need attacking players in front of him, like all the attackers in front of him. So Declan Rice is just superb. Another fantastic performance against Sevilla. I gave him a 7 out of 10 in the player ratings, but I rewatched the game earlier today, and I was like, this guy was absolutely incredible. Again, I think he should have been an 8 out of 10. He was really, really good. So start him again. And then in front of him, who would I start? Now, obviously, we don't have the likes of Smith Rowe. He started against Sheffield United. Maybe feels fit would have been given this game as well, but we don't have him. Odegaard, even if he was fit, I'd not play him at all, because if you play him in this one, Norway is going to call him up and he's going to go and play another 2 games for them. No, we need him fresh after the international break. So just to make sure he doesn't go for the international fixtures, I would keep him out for this game and say, you know what, he's injured. So this would be the midfield 2 in front of Rice, Havertz, and Fabio Vieira. Havertz started against the last game against Sevilla. And I think the last 2 games against Newcastle and Sevilla, he's not been quiet. He's not been shy, and he's not been, a ghost, as people would say it. He's not been ghosting. No, he's been involved. Like Newcastle is involved a lot, and that past game against Sevilla is also involved a lot. So that is what we want to see. The goal is coming. Hopefully, it's in this fixture. I'd like to see him up front as well, but I have a different. I'd actually put him up front for the Sevilla game. There could be a lot of rotation and mobility there. Havertz can go up front for 20 minutes, then the striker comes to the midfield. We could have a lot of rotation. So I'd go with Havertz, and then I'd give Fabio Vieira a start. A big game for Fabio Vieira. We need his creativity in this particular fixture. And then for the front three, I would go with this front three. I would go with Martinelli on the left. I'd stick with Trossard up front. As I said, Havertz and Trossard can rotate there. And then Reece Nelson on the right side. You haven't given him a chance to start in the Premier League. He started in the Carabao Cup, both games. I think he did well at West Ham. I think he was our best player in that first half. And obviously against Brentford in the Carabao Cup as well, he scored a winning goal and he was good in that game. So give him this fixture. I think we can still do well. I remember last season he played Nottingham Forest at home, and Nelson came on for Saka very early on, like in the 20th minute, and I think he scored and 2 goals and an assist or something in that fixture. So in this particular game, Nelson can do it. The pace that he has, he can definitely do it. Absolutely no problem with him starting. And I think with this particular lineup, we can still create chances and win the game. That is what you want to see. A lot of people have been saying, listen, there's no fluidity in this attack, which is kind of true. We have scored goals, but at least half of them have come from individual brilliance, like Saka against Nottingham, so on and so forth. But I would go with this lineup. This should be enough to beat Burnley. Havertz, Vieira, Nelson, Trossard, Martinelli, Rice. I'd be happy to keep Saka and Odegaard out just because I don't want them to go for the international break. Let them rest for the 2 weeks. We need them to rest and be ready for after the international break. On the bench, our bench will be very not the strongest of benches. Ramsdale, Kivio, Tomiyasu, Cedric, Elneny, Jorginho, Nketiah, if he's available. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be available. I don't think so. But even if he is, I'd have him on the bench. It would be good to have him on the bench. Because we don't really have anyone else to bring on. And then Sago Jr., as you can see, that is 8 players. We don't even have enough players. Maybe Nwaneri can get there as well. So you have to win that game in the first half with that particular team. We don't have too much bench power. If you get the job done early, 3-0 by the 50th minute or something, then you can take off Martinelli, maybe bring on Elneny and maybe take Vieira to the left side and play Elneny and Rice in the middle. There's 3 players I want to be subbed off in this game because they're going to play a lot of international fixtures as well. That is Declan Rice is the first one who has to go out. If you can sub one of Gabriel and Saliba, that would be great as well. And maybe Zinchenko as well. Obviously not a good idea to sub both the centre backs, but if one of them can get subbed off, Rice as well and Martinelli, that would be good. Give some game time to Cedric, Elneny, maybe Kivia as well. That would be great. So that is the lineup I would go for. I'd like to see Havertz going up front and Trossard going to the number 8 position, but Trossard in terms of coming back and getting the ball, I think he does that better. But I want to see Havertz score in this fixture. So I'll give you my prediction at the end, and I'm actually going to go to it right now. The predictions for this week. Here we go. So these are my predictions for this particular week. I will start with the fixture between Wolves and Tottenham. I've gone for a 2-2 draw there. Hopefully they drop points. Wolves have done well against Liverpool, done well against Man United. They lost both games, but they did very well. They beat Man City at home. And they also drew with Newcastle, a very wrong penalty given for Newcastle. Wolves could have won that game as well. I've gone for Arsenal to beat Burnley 4-0, and I've gone with hopefully Trossard to score again from that position, Martinelli to score, Havertz to score finally at home in the Premier League, and then maybe a Nelson or someone like that. If Nketiah comes off the bench, we can get a goal there. Hopefully 4-0 would be comfortable. I'd love a clean sheet as well. The next game is Crystal Palace Everton. I've gone for a 2-1 Crystal Palace win. Everton have picked up some good results recently, but since Eze is back for Crystal Palace, I've gone for a 2-1. Man United, I've given them a 2-1 win against Luton, but listen, I've gone for a surprise there. Man United to beat Luton. I'm going for the underdogs there. If they lose this game, then it's listen, we have to let Man United win this game. We have to keep Ten Hag. If he loses this game, he's going to go. I don't want them to lose. 2-1 to Man United there. It would be funny, though, if they lost that one. Newcastle to beat Bournemouth 3-0. Whenever Bournemouth have faced the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and those teams, they concede a lot of goals. So I think they'll do. Newcastle will get past them quite easily 3-0, unless the last victory against Burnley will give them confidence. Bournemouth, I don't know, but I think Newcastle are too strong for them. Aston Villa to beat Fulham 3-1. At the time of recording this, I'm actually watching Aston Villa in their Conference League, and they're currently drawing. Brighton to beat Sheffield United 3-0. They just beat Ajax in midweek. They're playing really well as well. I mean, in the Premier League, no, not really, but in the Europa League, they've been doing well. In the Premier League, they've gone, I think that is 5 games without winning. They drew with Everton, they drew with Fulham, they lost to Man City, they drew with Liverpool, and they lost to Aston Villa. So they haven't won a game since almost the middle of September. Not quite good for Brighton, but I think this is a perfect game for them to get back to winning ways. 3-0 against Sheffield, although Sheffield picked up in a win last time. I've gone for Liverpool to beat Brentford 2-1. So if results go like this, we will be ahead of Liverpool, which would be good, and we will be ahead of Tottenham as well. West Ham to beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. And then the big one, Chelsea, Man City, have gone for Man City to win. Unfortunately, that will mean they'll still top the group, the table. But if Chelsea can do something there, go for it. 3-1 to Man City is my prediction. So that is the preview for Arsenal Burnley and my match predictions for match week 12. I think it's match week 12. It's going to be very interesting. The last one before the final international break of the year. And then after that is just league game after league game after league game. And you can focus on that and still need to go through the Champions League. But hopefully we do get a big win. Let me know what you make, which lineup you want to see Arteta fielding in this particular match. As of now, thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.